third heat of the Better Break Series here at Amaroo Park. 10 seconds to go before the start. Off to a good start in the third heat, and it's Steve Masterton getting away very quickly on the outside with Terry Sheelan, the Mazda RX-7, the next best to come through. Gary Wilmington making a good break, and on the inside of him goes Dick Johnson as they go to the top of the hill and drop now into Dunlop Loop. And it's Masterton in front, the RX-7 of Shield, and Dick Johnson of Queensland.
Well, Shield will be glad to get the car away because he stalled it at the start of the second heat and didn't figure in the results. Masterton in front, though, and Dick Johnson made a very good start to be up there in third place, so he's much better placed than he has been in either of the previous heats. But Shield's one to watch, I would think. Marston's in front, and it's he who leads the point score, and also he who locks the break. But Shield could expect his Master to be a little bit faster, being a little bit more nimble around the Amaroo circuit. He'll start probing very early on, trying to get by Steve Marston and draw himself away from those in closer pursuits, like Dick Johnson, way back in third place, Gary Wilmington, and Peter McLeod. And again, nibbling on the inside, but almost shoveling Marston out of the way then as he could appear in the station of a jack.
Well, it's Masterton in front going to the top of Vitchepave Hill. A little wiggly that time as he just bounced off the wall. Shield was a little sideways coming over the top of the hill. And Shield is putting a lot of pressure on Masterton, who went into that corner very fast. Here's Shield, goodbye now, on the inside, and he's gone through to take over the lead. That puts Masterton back to second place and the Falcon in third place, probably 40 metres away, Dick Johnson.
Well, these big Falcons will have to go hard to keep Terry Shield within range because he is the lap record holder here. The circuit does suit the small and nimble RX-7s, and Steve Masterton has been driving with a great deal of daring and more than a little aggression. Will really be... Oh, there's a real swing behind. Dick Johnson being put off the track further back. We'll come back to that in a moment. He's okay, but he's gone off into the grass. A number of cars, including Gary Wilmington, went there. Dick is now rejoining the track, but he's back in something like 9th place, so he has a lot of ground to make up.
That looks like McLeod's Mazda down here that also has got into the wall and cuts across the front of Alexander, but he has already got the front mudguard, of course, down on the tyre. Car is waltzing around everywhere, and that won't play a great part in the outcome of this race.
McLeod will be out. The two of them touch. There are a number of cars involved. Dick Johnson went wide. McLeod has the damage, though, and he's the one who will probably suffer the most. In the meantime, Terry Shield is just running away with it. Behind him, though, and keeping him inside and going as hard as he can, which today has been exceptionally hard, is Steve Marston. But Terry Shield, who just didn't figure in the results last time, he got up to, 5th place, but would have been a potential winner. Stalled at the start, made a good start this time, has polished off Steve Marston, and he's got his head down and he's going hard. And Terry Finnegan now, who's come through the melee of that scramble that put Dick Johnson so far back, is way back in third place, just ahead of Gary Wilmington. And this man has a lead at the moment of something like 80 metres over the second man. You can see the gap as Marston comes through. Then it's Finnegan. And then it's Gary Wilmington. They're the leading four. This is a man coming second. Something of a revelation today, and certainly, I think with this performance in the car now being prepared by Pat Purcell, Steve Marston has indicated he's going to be an absolute front runner this year. One well and truly able to put Falcons back in the winner's circle. And that's good news for Ford. Good news for Masterton too, who really is an ambitious young fella and felt he wasn't doing quite as well as he should have, but he's got Pat Purcell now, the ex-former car preparer for Bob Jane, who's with him. A little bit of locking of brakes, which he's had most of the races. It doesn't seem to be causing him any great trouble, except he certainly treads on those brakes heavily, and we see plenty of smoke. But with Pat Purcell preparing the cars, he's going to have good machinery to drive with, and he certainly showed us today that he'll be in contention.
The Better Break Series conducted over 3 10-lap races at each of the Amaroo Park meetings. After 2 rounds today, going into this 10-lap final, Steve Masterton led the point score chase on 18 points. Terry Finnegan placed second on 17. Then Terry Shield and Dick Johnson on 16 points apiece. Peter McLeod, the next driver, on 12 points. Masterton at the moment running in second place, but still the series leader.
But this is a man who holds the lap record, so he knows how to drive quickly. He loves Amaroo Park, but hasn't had the best of fortune as some of the other circuits. But driving very well today. Watch his lines. Just nudge the curve there, which is as extreme a bit of driving as we've seen from Terry Shield. He is smooth. He's quick, but he doesn't make too many mistakes, and he really does point the car very, very well. Just watch him as he now comes through Winfield, which is a tough corner, more than a right angle bend to the right. You can see how the wall is scarred by those who got it all wrong. A very fast corner here. He'll take it close to the fence, but leaves himself just that nice little margin to do things properly, then takes a very clear line up the hill, comes in a wide sweep up Vitchepave Hill, the long sweep to the top, comes over Dunlop, well in shape.
There's the leader's gap over Steve Masterton, back probably about 75 metres, and then probably 50 metres back to Terry Finnegan, placed in third at the moment.
Interesting to watch the driving styles and compare them. With Follow Masterton, he's driving the Falcon. It's a harder car to drive than the little lightweight Mazda, much bigger car, wider and heavier. Masterton driving it very well, pushing it hard.
If anything, Finnegan's starting to make some ground on Steve Masterton. Masterton still with that ominous puff of smoke out the side every time to Honda corner, and Finnegan is probably closed up to within 20 or 30 metres now of Masterton.
It does seem he has a locking brake problem. It doesn't seem to be slowing too much, but just taking off a few hundreds here and there. And Finnegan, who is very smooth, he is worth watching. He's very smooth. He is closing up all the time. You can see there Steve having trouble with the handling. You can see how much cleaner that the Commodore was through as Finnegan came through there. So Finnegan may be closing up. He's got himself only 2 laps to do it in, though, and I don't think the gap is small enough for him to close the gap. There's certainly no doubt that unless something goes wrong with the leader, we're not going to see him overhauled by the others, because with something like 1 3/4 laps to go, Terry Shield really has this race in his pocket. He's driven beautifully, very neatly. Yeah, that was beautifully done that time. No sign of touching the curb, but he took a perfect line through there, swung the tail out nicely, goes down towards Winfield, changing gears at the right time, has time to glance at the instruments, see how things are going. A lead now of maybe 120, 130 metres over Marston, who has Terry Finnegan very close on his tail. You can see them there just as we sweep around to follow Finnegan up towards the last lap board, which he gets. That's it, last lap, 1 lap to go for Terry Finnegan. So those behind can give it away, but mind you, Terry Shield, rather, mind you, Terry Finnegan hasn't given away the prospect of catching the second man, Steve Masterton, but Shield has this race in the bag. A nice line around the top of the circuit.
Shield coming down the back part of the course with less than half a lap remaining. In great form here today at Amaroo Park. He's throwing the car around just a little bit as he comes down to Honda corner. Down through the gears. Superbly. If he can get off the line at Amaroo Park, he's a tough boy to beat in any company. Terry Shield, the Eurocars Mazda, heading down to Winfield corner for the final time. A short
straight battle for second behind them, by the way, Mike, side by side. They are behind this man. There they go, and it's oh goodness me, it's the Commodore of Terry Finnegan who's gone through to take second place from a disappointed Steve Marston. But this is the man who'll win the race.
Terry Shield across the line, and he picks up the checkered flag for heat number 3 here today. A good win going to Terry Shield.
And Marston came through at the very end with a tremendous passing manoeuvre. We were following the leader across the line, but Marston came back. He was passed on the second last corner by Finnegan, and he screwed up all his